Lisa Maloney, parent and business owner, shares her personal story working with the local school district.
I am a concerned parent that just had my antennas up and started paying attention to what was going on in my school. Yes, I am a school board member. However, I speak for myself today. I don't speak on behalf of a board or for anybody else other than myself. And what Herb said is right. Local control is nothing without parents. And as parents, community members, grandparents, we have every right to ask questions and to find out what's going on. And my daughter, when she was in 6th grade and I was at a conference, they said, the teacher was like, oh, we got to start teaching some new health thing. And I went, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What is it? She says, I don't know. But they're going to make us teach it. They said we have to. I said, well, who said you have to? Well, they did. And so they had this great new curriculum called Making a Difference, an abstinence approach to HIV and teen pregnancy prevention. Sounds all right, right? So 6th grade, you guys remember being in 6th grade?
No.
You guys, okay. I remember my 6th grade teacher. We don't have any real 6th graders in here, right? Because that wouldn't be appropriate. Okay, so let's all pretend that you're in 6th grade. Remember we talked about age appropriate and what's okay for kids? Well, this curriculum is in many schools all over Oregon. It's called Making a Difference. It is used in 6th grade, sometimes 7th grade, but it starts out in 6th grade. I'm going to be the teacher. And it says, have the participants brainstorm answers to the following question. Okay, kids. Now, here's the question. With all the messages teens are receiving about sex, what are some of the ways people express their sexual feelings to themselves or other people? Answer? Come on, kids! All the messages, you've heard them. Dodgeball. I know, but they're not teens yet, but it's okay, they're gonna be someday. Now come on, 6th graders. Okay, darn, they're not answering the question. What does it say? Oh, if participants are hesitant, I'll ask prompting questions. This is out verbatim from the curriculum. What kind of sex can people have by themselves, kids? Yeah, 6th grade. Kids! What other things might people do with their mouths? Oh, you can think of something, can't you? Kids! What other things can people do with their hands?
Oh my God.
Now, one parent in another school, he found the cheat sheet on the wall of all the answers that you were supposed to come up with, that you guys can come up with, but certainly 6th graders will be able to figure it out. And he lives in Kansas. This curriculum not only is in Oregon, it's across the country. They're using it because it's age appropriate and it meets the law. That's what I was told. We have to do it because it's the law. Okay, so kids, let's get to the answers now. These are the answers that the teacher needs to solicit from the kids about how you express your sexual feelings with yourself and other people. Oral sex, caressing, dancing, masturbation, talking, hugging, grinding, sexual fantasy, children, this is wonderful. Anal sex, massage, holding hands, vaginal intercourse, touching each other's genitals, saying I like you. Kids, children, now remember you're in 6th grade, the definition of vaginal intercourse, oral sex, anal sex, masturbation, because this is very important to your education. It's the law. Vaginal or sexual intercourse means, oral sex means a person's mouth on another person's genitals. Anal sex, kids, means a man's penis in a person's anus, rectum, or behind. And kids, let's not forget, you need to know what masturbation is. It means rubbing, stroking, or playing with one's own genitals or the genitals of another person. Oh, you don't know what genitals are? Maybe you should ask your parents that one. And the reason I do this, I really don't talk this way, and I apologize because I think it's disgusting and appalling, but I want you to know that what we're talking about is real. And when Lou said he came and he was sitting there going, no, no. And when I've told other parents, do you know what's in this curriculum? And I've told them some of the stuff and they go, no way, no way. They wouldn't do that. Not in my school. Certainly not in my school, that's not going to happen. And I hope it doesn't. And I think there's some wonderful teachers, and I know there are great teachers and administrators. And as Herb said in his school, there are those who say, it's not going to happen in my classroom. But there are other teachers who are given this curriculum and said, you need to go teach this. And the teachers think, I have to do this? Well, here I go. And they do it. And when I first heard about this curriculum and I said I want to see it, when it came out, the first thing I got was the summary. Oh, all the ways it talked about abstinence. Oh, I forgot to tell you what abstinence means in here. Abstinence, well, you guys right now, you're all abstinent. Okay, I can see it. It means avoiding or not engaging in vaginal, oral, or anal sex at the moment. That's what abstinence is. And that's what this curriculum is a very thick book, goes on and on and on, and stresses to 6th graders. In my school, a parent told me just a few weeks ago when her kid was in 6th grade 2 years ago, she said there was a video and she was asking for the video. She was looking at the material and she asked to see the video. And she said, what's the video? To the teacher first. The teacher says, oh, well, it talks about things I don't want to talk about. It's really embarrassing. And the mom said, well, I want to see it. Oh, you have to talk to the principal. She went to the principal, and the principal said, oh, well, we don't have that right now. And she kept asking, and he finally said to her, I really don't think it's appropriate for you to see. But it's okay for your 6th grader. And you know what else she told me? She said, "What?" He said, well, we'll get to it. We can't find it right now, and summer's coming, and we'll get it to you. And she said, I really feel bad because she didn't persist. She didn't stick with it. And that oftentimes is what the hope is that you'll give up. And you'll stop. And she should have had other parents with her. And that's the one thing I can stress is to go in and ask. And in my district, I was on a committee for the curriculum. I heard, again, antennas went up. Somebody said, oh, there's a health committee coming up. Really? I'm going to be on that. Get on the committee. And it didn't go my way, a lot of it. And they adopted some curriculum that I didn't like. But those teachers are really careful with what they're doing. They're not, eventually my school, 5 years ago, they said, no, they pulled this. And unfortunately, this past year, they did adopt that. It's in Scappoose. It's in St. Helens. That is one curriculum making a difference that is all over this state and even in Kansas. So, what can I do?
What can I do?
Herb told you our legal rights. Know your legal right. You have every right, whether you're a parent or you have kids in school or not. You are a taxpayer and you can know what goes on in your school. In fact, in my school, the policies are that anyone at any time can go in any class and visit. All you have to do is check in at the office and sign and get a visitor slip. And that's the same anywhere, I'm sure. Begin asking questions. You know somebody who's in school, right? Whether you have kids, grandkids, neighbors, friends. Go ask to see health curriculum. In fact, they don't even call it sex ed anymore. When we were young, sex ed, they call it healthy sexuality. What does that mean? Well, it's all those wonderful things they said. Healthy sexuality. You want to see that curriculum. Ask to see it. Don't look at the summary. Look at the curriculum. And it's the curriculum that's the issue, not the teacher, not the principal necessarily. They've been given it oftentimes and said, here, you have to teach this. And they're just as dumbfounded, frankly, as a lot of them. My daughter, when she was in the 6th grade and they didn't pass this, and they kept just the health books we had and a few other pieces, and I told her teacher, I said, you know, she can stay in the class as long as you're just doing the health books, because it was regular health, but not any of that other stuff. And she said to me, I'm not doing any of that other stuff. I said, good, then we're fine. So, and this year, my daughter, who was in high school, and they passed some of this curriculum, they still didn't know what it was. The teachers didn't know. They were trying to scurry to put it together, and I was asking to see it. And he was very nice, the teacher, and I kept my daughter out, and I said to him, teacher, I said, you are the last line of defense when that door closes. I hope you do the right thing. And he's a nice guy. I mean, he really is. And I think he was, but there are some teachers that maybe aren't as nice as him. But you know what we were told in our school district? Trust the teachers. A link on that web page is this Empowering Parents. And you can find that on the Parents' Rights in Education website. This is actually linked and put together by Focus on the Family, and this is wonderful. Advocate for your kids, advocate for your schools, support your school board members, get to know them, know who the teachers are, and remember, it's not the teacher that is the problem, it's the curriculum. And it's those people, many of them are essentially victims to what's happening. Do something. Please, when you leave here today, after everything you've heard, do something, have conversations with others, get together with somebody else and go to a school in your district and start asking. Look and go see the curriculum. See what your school is doing. It can be big and overwhelming, but in your district, we can't sometimes worry about everything and the Unaffordable Care Act, but we can do something right where we live. And that's what I encourage you to do. Go to the website and just ask questions in your district.
For more information, contact parentsrightsined.net.